My brother shouted, "This is my house now, get your stuff and go." So I moved out the same day, revoked the $6,500 monthly utility and insurance payments, and he discovered he couldn't afford to keep it. Welcome, family. If this story touches your heart, show some love by subscribing and letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go on with the story. I never thought my own brother would throw me out like trash. But there I stood, frozen in our childhood home's doorway, Caleb's words echoing like bullets. "This is my house now. Get your stuff and go." My hands trembled holding my coffee mug. The same mug Mama gave me 15 years ago, back when this house meant family, not warfare. "Caleb, what are you talking about? We agreed." "I don't care what we agreed." His face contorted with rage I'd never seen before. "Mama left this house to both of us, but I'm done pretending you deserve half. You've been freeloading long enough." Freeloading. The word slapped me harder than his hand ever could. For 6 years since Mama's death, I'd poured $6,500 monthly into keeping this 4-bedroom colonial alive. Property taxes, insurance, the HVAC system that died twice, the roof that needed replacing after that terrible storm. All while Caleb contributed his presence and criticism. "I pay for everything," I said, voice shaking. "The utilities, the insurance, the maintenance." "You live here, don't you?" He stepped closer and I smelled whiskey on his breath at 10 in the morning. "That's payment enough. But I'm tired of looking at your face every day, tired of you acting like you own the place. This is my inheritance and I want you gone." Behind him I saw his girlfriend Jean smirking from the living room couch. Mama's couch that I'd had reupholstered for $800. This wasn't random rage. This was planned. Something inside me crystallized, cold and clear as diamond. "Fine," I whispered. "I'll be gone by tonight." People always asked why I stayed. Let me paint you the real picture, because context matters when your world implodes. I'm Victoria Nichols, 38 years old, a senior financial analyst at a consulting firm. I make good money, 6 figures good. After Daddy died when I was 12, Mama worked 3 jobs to keep this house. She cleaned offices at night, did hair on weekends, and somehow still made it to every school play, every parent-teacher conference. "This house is our legacy," she'd say, running her fingers along the mahogany banister Daddy installed himself. "Never let anyone take what's yours." Caleb, 2 years younger, was always Mama's baby boy. When he dropped out of college junior year, she welcomed him home. When he couldn't keep a job, she made excuses. When he got arrested for drunk driving, she paid his bail and lawyer fees, draining her savings. I watched her health decline as stress mounted. But even dying, even with cancer eating her alive, she insisted on fairness. "The house goes to both my babies," she wrote in her will. 50-50. Equal. I thought honoring her meant keeping Caleb included, keeping the family together. So when he moved back in temporarily, after his second eviction, I said yes. When temporary became permanent, I paid the bills without complaint. I convinced myself I was being the bigger person, the responsible one. But Jean changed everything. She moved in 3 months ago without asking, transformed our home into her personal kingdom. Suddenly my groceries disappeared. My bathroom products vanished. And Caleb, who barely acknowledged me before, became openly hostile. Now I understood. Jean wanted the house for herself, and Caleb, weak, manipulable Caleb, was her weapon. "You're really leaving?" My best friend Rita's voice crackled through my phone as I yanked clothes from my closet. "Girl, he can't just kick you out. You own half that house. Let him think he won." I was eerily calm now, my initial shock crystallized into cold fury. "He'll learn." I'd already made 3 calls. First to my lawyer, Diane Osborne, who I'd worked with when Mama's estate was settled. "Don't sign anything," she'd warned. "And document everything. Every payment, every text, every threat." Second to my insurance company. "I need to remove a property from my policy, effective tomorrow." The agent hesitated. "Ma'am, that's a $400,000 home. Are you certain?" "Absolutely certain." Third to the utility companies. My name. My accounts. My credit, holding everything together like invisible steel beams. Caleb appeared in my doorway, Jean lurking behind him like a cobra. Hurry up, he sneered. I want to turn your room into a home gym. A gym. I laughed, a sound that surprised even me. Caleb, when's the last time you worked out? His face reddened. Don't talk to him like that, Jean snapped, her acrylic nails tapping against the door frame. This is his house. You're nothing but a guest who overstayed her welcome. I zipped my suitcase slowly, deliberately. Jean, how long have you and Caleb been together? 3 months. 4, she corrected smugly. And we're getting married. This house will be perfect for our kids. Kids. They'd planned my entire erasure. I smiled, actually smiled, and it must have looked wrong because Jean's confidence flickered. Congratulations, I said softly. I hope you've budgeted for the expenses. Caleb waved dismissively. Insurance and utilities are cheap. I can handle it. Of course you can. I'm sure you've checked the amounts. Whatever. Just leave. I dragged my suitcase past them, each wheel's click on hardwood floors counting down to his reckoning. I spent that first night at Rita's apartment, lying awake on her couch, memories flooding back like a broken dam. I remembered being 7, watching Daddy install the kitchen's Italian tile himself, his hands bleeding from cuts but his face glowing with pride. When you own something, baby girl, you take care of it. You protect it. I remembered Mama at the dining table after his funeral, papers spread everywhere, her voice breaking. We're keeping this house. I don't care what anyone says. This is Nickel's family ground. She worked herself to the bone for that promise. I found her collapse in the hallway 10 years later, her body finally surrendering to exhaustion disguised as cancer. Stage 4. 6 months to live, they said. She lasted 4, fighting every second. Take care of your brother, she'd whispered in hospice, her hand skeletal in mine. He's not as strong as you, Victoria. Promise me you'll look after him. I promised. God help me, I promised. But I also remembered things Mama never knew. Caleb stealing $20 from her purse when he thought no one watched. Caleb lying about job interviews he never attended. Caleb bringing home different women while Mama was at chemotherapy, disrespecting our home with his carelessness. After Mama died, I found documents she'd hidden, attempts to remortgage the house to pay Caleb's debts. She'd been denied, thank God, because her income couldn't support it. But she tried. For him. Always for him. I'd enabled his dependence by trying to honor her wishes. But Mama never knew how cruel he'd become, never saw Jean's manipulation, never heard him call me a freeloader while I paid every bill. Mama, I whispered to the darkness, I kept my promise. But I can't anymore. I just can't. My phone buzzed. Caleb, door locks changed tomorrow. Don't come back. I screenshot the message and sent it to Diane. The game had officially begun. Ms. Nichols, I need you to understand what you're doing. The insurance agent's voice carried professional concern. If there's a fire, a flood, any damage, your brother will have no coverage. The house could be destroyed. I understand completely, I said, sitting in Rita's kitchen with my laptop open, spreadsheets glowing. The policy is in my name, paid from my account. I'm simply canceling my policy on a property I no longer reside in. But you still own half. Which means I can insure or not insure my interest as I choose. My brother, as a co-owner, is free to obtain his own policy. I kept my voice steady, professional. This wasn't emotion. This was chess. The cancellation processed instantly. $4,200 annually, gone from Caleb's invisible safety net. Next, the utilities. Electric company first. I'm moving out and need to close my account. Will the new resident be opening their own account? That's up to him. I'm simply closing mine. Water, gas, internet, trash collection. 16 calls total, each one severing a thread Caleb never knew held everything together. The customer service representatives were efficient, bored even. They had no idea they were participating in my brother's financial education. My phone exploded with texts by evening. Caleb, why is the electric company calling me? Caleb, they said the account closed. WTF did you do? Caleb, you petty bitch, this is illegal. I didn't respond. Silence, I'd learned, was its own power. Jean texted from her number. You're so immature. Grow up and stop playing games. The irony of your versus your from someone who thought herself smart enough to manipulate property ownership wasn't lost on me. Diane called. Victoria, this is brilliant. Legally brilliant. You're not damaging property or violating any agreements. You're simply withdrawing your financial support. How long until he realizes the full scope? Maybe a month when the first bills come due under his name. Good, I said. Let him learn slowly. 3 days passed. 3 quiet, glorious days where I stayed with Rita, worked remotely, and watched my phone like it was reality television. Caleb's texts evolved from angry to confused to panicked. Day 1. The internet's not working. Did you forget to pay the bill? Day 2. Seriously, what's going on with the utilities? Everything's in your name and they're saying the accounts are closed. Day 3. Victoria, pick up the damn phone. I didn't. Instead, I went to my therapy appointment. Yes, I'd started therapy 2 months ago when living with Caleb's hostility became unbearable. Dr. Williams, a 60-year-old black woman who reminded me of Mama in her wisdom but not her enabling, listened to my update. How do you feel? She asked. Guilty, I admitted. Then angry that I feel guilty. Then guilty about being angry. I laughed bitterly. I'm a full emotional circuit. You're experiencing the consequences of setting boundaries after years of having none, Dr. Williams said gently. That guilt, it's not about Caleb. It's about breaking the pattern your mother established. She just wanted to protect him. And who protected you, Victoria? The question hung in the air like smoke. Nobody. I'd protected myself, put myself through college with scholarships and night jobs, built my career with no safety net, saved my money while Caleb spent his on God knows what. Your mother loved you both, Dr. Williams continued, but she didn't prepare Caleb for the real world. And she taught you that your needs come last. Neither of those was love, that was fear. That night Caleb finally called. I answered. What the hell is wrong with you? He shouted. The electric company wants a deposit now. $300. And insurance. Victoria, the insurance alone is $5,000 a year. I know, I said calmly. I paid it. Then why? His voice cracked. Why are you doing this? You told me to leave, Caleb. I left. I'm simply adjusting my finances accordingly. But the house is half yours. Handle your half. I hung up before he could respond. The knock on Rita's door came at 9 p.m. 4 days after I'd moved out. Rita checked the peephole and turned to me, eyebrows raised. It's some woman. Pretty long braids, looks pissed. Of course. I opened the door but didn't invite her in. Can I help you? She dressed up. Tight dress, full makeup, but her eyes were cold calculation. We need to talk. Woman to woman. I don't think we do. Listen. She softened her voice, tried for sympathy. I know you're hurt. Caleb was harsh and I told him he shouldn't have talked to you like that. But you're being vindictive and it's hurting both of us. Both of you, I repeated. Interesting. We're a team now. What hurts him hurts me. She touched her stomach in an exaggerated gesture. And we're thinking about starting a family. That house, your mama's house, would be perfect for raising kids. For keeping the Nichols legacy alive. The audacity. The sheer, breathtaking audacity. Jean, how much do you think utilities cost monthly for a 4-bedroom house? She blinked. I don't know. 200. Try 800 minimum. Plus property tax is $11,000 annually. Insurance is $5,000. Then there's maintenance, repairs, lawn care, pest control. Caleb said you were exaggerating to scare us. Did he? I leaned against the doorframe. Has Caleb paid any bills in the 6 years since Mama died? Her confidence flickered. He's been saving. Building his business. What business? Please, tell me what business Caleb has been building. Silence. Here's what I think, I said softly. I think you saw a house, assumed it was paid off, and thought you'd landed a meal ticket. I think you convinced Caleb to kick me out so you could play house without interference. And I think you never considered who actually kept that house standing. Her mask slipped completely. You stuck-up bitch. You think you're so much better than everyone because you have some corporate job. Than everyone? Or than you specifically? She stepped closer, voice dropping to a hiss. Caleb told me about you. How you lorded your money over him. How you made him feel small. By paying the bills? That made him feel small. You could help us, she tried again, switching tactics. Your family. That's what family does. Ms. Nichols, your brother has retained an attorney. Diane's voice was professionally neutral on the phone, but I detected a hint of amusement. A rather aggressive one. I was in my office, spreadsheets forgotten as I processed this development. That was fast. His lawyer sent a demand letter. Apparently you're abandoning your legal responsibilities as a co-owner and engaging in financial sabotage. They're threatening to sue for your half of the house unless you reinstate all utilities and insurance under your name immediately. I laughed. Actually laughed. Can they do that? Absolutely not. You have no legal obligation to pay utilities for a property you don't occupy. As for insurance, while both owners benefit from it, there's no law requiring you specifically to maintain it. Your brother, as a co-owner, has equal authority and responsibility to insure the property. So this is just intimidation? Classic intimidation. His lawyer is hoping you don't know your rights. Diane paused. However, I should warn you, if the property falls into disrepair or is damaged due to lack of insurance, and if your brother can't afford repairs, that could affect your equity. This strategy has risks. I understand. Do you? Because families are messy, Victoria. The law is clear but emotions aren't. Are you prepared for how ugly this might get? I thought about Caleb's text calling me a bitch. About Jean's entitled assumption that I'd fund her fantasy. About 6 years of silent sacrifice while being treated like a burden. Let it get ugly, I said. I've been playing nice my whole life. Where did that get me? That evening I crafted my response through Diane. Legal cold perfect. Ms. Victoria Nichols acknowledges receipt of your correspondence. Ms. Nichols maintains no legal obligation to fund utilities or insurance for a property she does not occupy, particularly after being forcibly removed by her co-owner. Mr. Caleb Nichols, as a 50% owner, bears equal responsibility for property maintenance and protection. Ms. Nichols remains open to discussing a buyout of her ownership interest at fair market value. All future communications should be directed through legal counsel. Caleb called 17 times that night. I blocked his number. Jean tried from hers. You're tearing this family apart. I typed back. You told me to leave. I left. Actions have consequences. Finally, she showed her real self. When Caleb loses that house because of you, everyone will know what a selfish, heartless bitch you are. Your own mama would be ashamed. That one landed. I won't lie, it hurt like a knife between ribs. But mama was gone. And I was done living for Ghost. The thing about growing up in a tight-knit black community is that everybody knows everybody's business. And everybody had opinions. Mrs. Sherman from next door called me at work. Baby, what's going on over there? Caleb tried to get me to co-sign for a loan. Said something about emergency house expenses. Don't do it, Mrs. Sherman. Please. Oh, honey, I wasn't planning to. That boy couldn't manage money if it came with instructions. She lowered her voice. Your mama, God rest her soul, she loved him fierce. But love without accountability ain't love. It's enabling. I watched her bail him out over and over. I told her she was crippling him, but she wouldn't hear it. She thought she was protecting him. She was protecting herself from feeling like a bad mother. There's a difference. Mrs. Sherman sighed. He's been having loud parties, Victoria. Trash everywhere. Your mama's rose garden looks like a junkyard. My heart clenched. Mama's roses. She'd planted them when Daddy died, said they were her therapy. I'd maintained them after her death, pruning and fertilizing, keeping that small piece of her alive. He's letting it all go, Mrs. Sherman continued. And that girl he's with? She sits on the porch smoking, flicking butts into the yard. It's disrespectful. I heard similar reports from other neighbors. The Nichols house, once the pride of the block, was deteriorating. Lawn unmowed. Paint chipping. The porch light Mama always kept burning, her beacon for my baby's coming home, had burned out and stayed dark. Then came the call from Aunt Maureen, Mama's sister. Victoria Marie Nichols, what is this I hear about you abandoning your brother? Aunt Maureen. Your mama is rolling in her grave. Family don't do family like this. Did Caleb tell you he threw me out? Silence. Then, he said you left because you wanted your own place. That you were tired of living there and just stopped paying bills out of spite. Of course he did. Aunt Maureen, he literally told me, this is my house now, get your stuff and go. Then changed the locks. That don't sound like Caleb. It is Caleb. It's exactly Caleb. The same Caleb who stole from Mama's purse. The same Caleb who's never held a job more than 6 months. The same Caleb you loaned $3,000 to 5 years ago that he never repaid. The line went quiet. Week 3 brought the first real consequences. Caleb's texts, now coming from Jean's phone since I'd blocked him, became desperate. The city sent a notice about the lawn. $200 fine if we don't cut it. Water got shut off. They want $450 to turn it back on plus deposit. We can't afford all this. Please, Victoria. We need help. I forwarded everything to Diane without responding. She called immediately. They're trying to establish a pattern of you providing financial support. Don't engage. But the texts kept coming, each one a little more panicked. The AC broke. It's 95 degrees in here. Insurance company said there's no policy on the house. What if something happens? Property tax bill came. It's $11,000. $11,000. How did you pay this? That last one almost made me laugh. How did I pay it? By working 60-hour weeks. By sacrificing vacations, new cars, the things people my age enjoyed. By being responsible while Caleb was being enabled. Rita found me staring at my phone one night. You okay? I keep thinking about what happens if there's a fire. Or a flood. The house could be destroyed. Is that your responsibility? It's Mama's house. No, baby. Rita sat beside me, took my hand. It was your Mama's house. Now it's a property in both your names and he wants you gone. You can't save someone who's drowning if they're gonna drag you under. He was right. But guilt is a trained animal. It comes when called, even when you know better. Then came the call that changed everything. Not from Caleb but from my cousin Jeremiah, who I hadn't spoken to in months. Victoria, you need to know what Caleb is saying about you. My stomach dropped. What? He's telling everyone you stole money from Mama before she died. That you manipulated her into leaving you half the house when she really wanted him to have all of it. That you're bitter and jealous because he's happy with Jean, and you're trying to ruin his life. The betrayal was a physical thing, crushing my chest. That's not. I know it's not true. I was there when Mama made her will. She was clear as day about 50-50. Jeremiah's voice hardened. But he's convincing people, Victoria. Especially folks who don't know better. He's playing victim hard. Let him. You need to defend yourself. No. The word came out stronger than I expected. I'm done defending myself to people who'd rather believe lies than ask questions. Anyone who knows me really knows me, knows the truth. Month 2 arrived like a storm. The situation deteriorated faster than even I anticipated. Caleb finally called from a new number and foolishly I answered. Are you happy now? His voice was raw, broken. Not angry anymore, destroyed. The bank sent foreclosure warning. We're 3 months behind on property tax. The city's threatening liens. Jean left me. That last part stopped me. What? She left. Took her stuff and bounced when she realized the house came with bills, not just status. He laughed bitterly. Said I was broke and pathetic. That she didn't sign up for this struggle. Despite everything, a small part of me ached. He sounded like the little brother I'd protected from bullies in elementary school, the one who cried when Daddy died, the one Mama loved so fiercely. Caleb. I can't afford this, Victoria. The utilities alone are eating me alive. I got them turned back on, but I'm working double shifts at the warehouse just to cover basics. The house is falling apart. The roof's leaking into the back bedroom. I don't know what to do. You could get a roommate. Rent out rooms to cover costs. In Mama's house? With strangers. He sounded genuinely horrified. You threw out family pretty easily. Silence stretched between us, thick with 6 years of resentment, manipulation, and things unsaid. I'm sorry, he finally whispered. I was wrong. Jean got in my head, made me think I don't know what I was thinking. Please, can we figure this out? Can you come back? This was the moment I'd imagined. The apology. The admission of fault. But it felt hollow, motivated by desperation rather than genuine remorse. Do you even understand what you did, Caleb? You didn't just kick me out. You told me I was worthless. That I was freeloading while I paid every single bill. You let Jean disrespect Mama's home, and you rewarded her manipulation by becoming cruel to your own sister. I know You've never asked how I'm doing. If I'm okay. If being thrown out of my childhood home affected me. You only called when you needed something. That's not family, Caleb. That's exploitation. Please. He was crying now. I can't lose Mama's house. It's all we have left of her. You can't lose it. You never valued it. You never maintained it. You never sacrificed for it. That house was a possession to you, Caleb, not a legacy. Then help me keep it. You make good money. And there was. Not reconciliation. Rescue. No, I said quietly. I'm not your safety net anymore. You need to figure this out yourself. Diane presented Caleb's offer in her office 3 weeks later. I sat across from her desk, hands folded, surprisingly calm. He's proposing you buy out his half of the house for $200,000. That's approximately market value for 50% equity. He wants me to give him $200,000, I said slowly, so he can walk away from the house he kicked me out of, while I'm left with a property that needs extensive repairs? Essentially, yes. Diane leaned back. The alternative is he's threatening to force a sale. Take the house to market, split the proceeds. You'd likely net similar amounts after realtor fees and repairs, but you'd lose the property entirely. Mama's house. Daddy's craftsmanship. My childhood memories. My inheritance. Or, Diane continued carefully, you could let him continue failing. Eventually he'll default completely. The city will place liens. If he can't resolve them, they could force a sale anyway, or you could potentially buy his half at a reduced price through legal proceedings. That could take years. And destroy what's left of our relationship. Victoria, what relationship? He threw you out, slandered you publicly, and only reached out when facing financial ruin. He's not offering reconciliation. He's offering an exit strategy where he still profits from your investment. He was right. But this wasn't just about logic. I thought about Mama's final days, how she'd gripped my hand and whispered, "You're my strong one, baby. Promise you'll be okay." Not, "Take care of Caleb." Not, "Sacrifice yourself." Just be okay. I thought about the roses dying, the roof leaking, the legacy crumbling under Caleb's neglect. I thought about Dr. Williams saying, "You can't save someone from themselves. You can only decide who you're going to be." "I'll buy him out," I said finally. "But not for $200,000. The house needs $50,000 in repairs minimum. I'll offer $160, take it or leave it." Diane smiled. "He'll take it. He's desperate." "I know. That's what makes this sad." I stood, gathering my bag. "Draw up the papers. I want this done cleanly. No future claims, no lingering ties. He gets his money, I get the house, and we're finished. And if he tries to reconcile later?" I thought about that. About the little brother I'd loved, the man who'd betrayed me, the family that could have been. Then I'll decide then. But I won't be making decisions from guilt anymore. Only from choice. The papers were signed 3 weeks later in Diane's conference room. Caleb looked terrible, 20 pounds thinner, eyes hollow, wearing a stained warehouse uniform because he'd come straight from work. He wouldn't meet my eyes as we signed page after page. 6 months later, I stood in Mama's kitchen, my kitchen now, watching contractors repair the water damage Caleb had ignored. The house was mine, fully and legally mine, but the victory felt like ash in my mouth. Caleb took his $160,000 and disappeared. Last I heard from Aunt Maureen, he'd moved 3 states away trying to start fresh. No apology. No goodbye. Just gone like our entire childhood, our shared history. Mama's dreams for us meant nothing. I'd spent $80,000 on repairs. New roof, fixed plumbing, restored hardwood floors, replaced the HVAC. The house was beautiful again, worth every penny an hour. But it echoed with ghost. Mrs. Sherman found me crying in Mama's rose garden, which I'd brought back to life, each bloom a small resurrection, one Sunday afternoon. "Baby girl," she said gently, settling beside me on the bench Daddy built. "You did the right thing." "Then why does it hurt so much?" "Because you loved him. Love doesn't die just because it's not returned. And grief, real grief, ain't just for death. It's for everything you thought would be that isn't." I'd grieved Mama's death. Now I grieved my brother while he still lived. Grieved the family I'd imagined we'd be. Grieved the little boy who'd held my hand at Daddy's funeral, who I thought I'd protect forever. "Your Mama," Mrs. Sherman continued, "she wanted you both to have this house because she wanted you to have each other. But she didn't understand that you can't force people to be family. You can only decide what you'll accept." The tears came then finally. Not angry tears or bitter tears. Just sad ones, mourning something that never really existed. The fantasy of a brother who'd value me, a family that functioned, a fairy tale ending. But sitting in that garden, surrounded by Mama's roses and Daddy's craftsmanship and my own hard-won peace, I realized something. I'd protected the legacy. Not by enabling Caleb's dysfunction, but by having the strength to let him go. The house stood because I stood. The roses bloomed because I nurtured them. The Nichols name meant something because I'd refused to let guilt destroy my future. I'd kept my promise to Mama after all, not by saving Caleb but by saving myself. And somewhere I hoped she understood. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments. Sometimes the hardest family to love is your own. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. And sometimes, survival means letting go of people you wish you could save. Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and self-preservation? Tell me your story below. You're not alone.